The Burlington Township School District is excited to expand our parent resources through Falcon Web TV. This is the first edition of our online version of Parent University. This year, we had a very powerful program called What Your Children Don't Want You to Know. It focused on the dangers and responsible use of social media. This is part one of a two-part series. With so many children with cell phones and with the increased number of misuse, we wanted to be sure to provide our parents with an opportunity to get this valuable information. We are pleased to have 2 student experts as facilitators for this program. I hope you find this program useful, but more importantly, I hope that it inspires you to talk with your children and learn what they know. I present to you What Your Children Don't Want You to Know, Part 1.
All right, everybody, welcome to Parent University. First session, What Your Kids Don't Want You to Know. My name is Neil Darji. I'm Executive Board President. I'm a student in peer leadership, as well as a member of the National Honor Society.
My name is Chris Atkins. I'm the president of Key Club at our high school. I'm an AP student, and I announce the football games. So, when we were in your class, we're always given assessments, right? And like focus activities and objectives. So we have one for you. If you open your folder, there's a little objective and focus for you guys. So just fill out
A little questionnaire.
Fill out the questionnaire, and what you don't know you can keep blank, and we'll go over.
Yes. We're testing your knowledge, so don't share answers. When you're finished, look up.
And again, if you don't know the answers, it's perfectly fine to keep it blank.
Give you guys a couple more minutes. Keep your eyes on your own paper.
Yes. Focus on that side of the room.
don't think your name is. All right, so we're gonna get started. So you can just shout out the answers to us. So the first one, ROFL. What do you guys think that means? Correct.
All right, HMU/HMJ.
Hit me up.
There you go, hit me up, or hit my jack. It means the same thing. Call me, text me, that sort of thing.
And then we throw an easy one in there so you guys feel good about yourself. OMG. Oh my God. Yep. Oh my God.
Yes, oh my God, oh my gosh. All right, BRB. Awesome, be right back.
Here's a little challenging one. OTP.
Awesome, yep,
Right.
on the phone. So I would say that like, hey, let's get OTP, let's get on the phone, call me.
Which rarely happens, but you know.
Yeah. Stop.
Well,
All right, WYD.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? There you go, awesome.
Okay, so if you know the next one, we're not gonna fully say it, but, so CDFU.
Put them on the line.
Calm down.
No.
Good try. Yes, awesome.
Yeah.
Backing the up, but the D is the, you know, teenagers. CDFU, backing the
F word up.
All right, SMH,
Shaking my head.
awesome, shaking my head. Are these all foreign to you, Officer?
yes,
Oh gosh. Here we go. GTFO. Get the F out. Yep.
All right, here comes a hard one, JK.
Just kidding.
Just kidding, awesome.
that was pretty cool.
Close enough.
What about TMI?
Awesome.
A lot of teachers use that.
Sure. Thank you, TMI. Just kidding. STFU.
Shut the.
Awesome. Yep. Shut the up.
Did you guys do well in that section?
So. A little head
Well, now you
nod.
guys know if you took notes. So next one. What is the most used social media outlet amongst teens? Snapchat. Let's go around the room. Snapchat. Snapchat.
I said Instagram.
Instagram.
Twitter.
Twitter.
I said Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Instagram.
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 Snapchat.
I say Snapchat and Twitter.
Okay.
Don't ask me, I know the answer.
Okay. True.
Yeah.
True. Well, the answer is actually, well, all of you were wrong. It's actually Facebook.
It is. It is.
It's still Facebook.
Facebook is still the most used social media outlet amongst teens aged 13 to 19.
So if you know me-
70%.
If you know me, you know I'm a Facebook person.
Why do you guys say it's for old people?
Yeah,
We never
Who's you
said-
guys?
because we're old.
So what's the second?
The second is Instagram. All right, so about what percentage of teens are active on social media? 90?
I said
75, 90, 90, 75.
All right, so those of you that said 75, you are correct. It's around 75% of teens are active on social media on a daily basis.
And the last one is the hardest one of them all. Which of the following social media outlets are safe?
None of them.
Woo, none.
And you know, that's kind of a trick question because they could be safe and they cannot be safe. It all depends on how you use them. That's what we're going to talk about, the dangers and how to use social media outlets responsibly so that you can get the good benefits from them.
So when we started our presentation, we said that I was Chris.
And I was Neil.
But in reality, it's the other way around. I'm Neil,
And I'm Chris.
and that's Chris. So that just goes to show how easy it is to fool somebody and give a wrong identity.
Yeah. And I mean, we were face to face telling you guys that we weren't who we are. And you had no idea that we weren't who we saying we are. And it's even worse on social media because you don't have that face-to-face contact. You're now talking to someone through a screen, through a monitor, over the internet. So you have no idea if who you are talking to is who they say they are.
All right, so before we start our actual presentation, we have a couple of stats, well, a few stats, for you just to get your minds going. So on social media, 91% of teens post a photo of themselves, up from 79 from 2006.
71% post their school name, up from 49%.
71% post the city or town where they live, up from 61%.
92% post their real name to the profiles they use most often.
84% post their interests, such as movies, music, or books they like.
84% also post their birth dates.
62% post their relationship status.
And 24% post videos of themselves. So that's a quarter of all teenagers are posting videos of themselves on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all these different outlets. And you may look at this and think, well, this is all random information. It's probably not that important. You're not harming yourself too much by posting it. But when you think about it, if you're online, for example, maybe your online banking or an email account, when you sign up security questions in case you lose your password. Now, these questions could be anything from, what's your favorite book? What's your favorite movie? What school did you go to? What's your mother's maiden name? So we don't really know that the connection between these things that we're posting and how they can be used against us. We think they're innocent. You know, I was just posting a status about my mother. But you've then given someone with malicious intent your mother's maiden name and possibly access to other accounts you may possess.
All right, so what are some types of social medias used by teens today? What do you guys see in the classroom or just around? Snapchat, Instagram,
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yes.
I hear kick at the bus, they're like kicking.
Right, there's still
Yeah.
kick in middle school.
I don't know who it is.
Yes.
Has anybody heard of Periscope
Yes, that was.
and the dangers of Periscope? So we're going to talk about that today as well. So we're going to start off with this one. What icon is this?
Facebook.
Facebook. As innocent as it seems, there are many dangers that come along with it, and that's what we're going to talk about.
So what is Facebook? When you think of Facebook, it's kind of the flagship of social media. I mean, as we talked about earlier with the questionnaire, it is the most used social media outlet amongst teenagers. It's also the most used social media outlet amongst adults. And the reason for that is because it's simple and bare minimum. And what I mean by that is it doesn't take a lot of concentration or focus to be able to navigate Facebook's website. You know, we'll kind of go into the layout of Facebook and profiles and stuff. But it has an emphasis on direct communication as well as isolated communication. And what that means is if I post something, I can post it to my entire following, all my friends I have. I can post a picture and share it with everybody. I can share music with everybody or videos. Or I have the option of sending messages to people individually. So it's private just between me, myself, and that person, or a small group of people.
And then we have the dangers of Facebook. We think that Facebook is innocent, but most teenagers can take advantage of that. So on Facebook, you post your name, your status, where you are, if you're going to the mall with your friends, pictures, you're tagging friends, and you can see pictures of where you are, but you don't even have to be friends with that person. So if I tag Chris in a picture, but Miss Barr's not friends with Chris, she can still see that picture because she's friends with me. So people, they really, I'm sorry, I was just blanked out. So are people who they say they are? So I'm sorry, hold on one second. All right, I'm sorry. But on social media, you can clearly, I don't know why I'm blanking out.
Pretend to be whoever you want to be.
Right, you can pretend to be who you want to be. Sorry. So I can make an account and say I'm Miss Barr, but I'm Neil. So, and it's easier to do that. And there's a story that Miss Scott would like to share.
Probably, I guess it was like 3 months ago, I was on my phone and I got a message from who I thought was my aunt. And, you know, she's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm fine. And it was sort of a banter going back and forth. But then I thought it was kind of odd because I asked a question about another specific family member. And the response I got back was very bizarre. And I realized someone had actually taken her profile picture and was communicating with me. So I immediately called her, picked up the phone, and had a conversation and say, somebody has hijacked your account. You need to go in and do what you need to do to change your information. But I mean, it was innocent, and who knows where it would have been going. But just as simple as that, I'm thinking I'm speaking to a relative, and I'm not. Michelle?
I'm gonna let you know my daughter went on a missions trip to Guatemala, and on her missions trip, they went to orphanages and stuff, and she took pictures with the kids. Later, it was basically the same thing. She was getting messages, but they were using her pictures from her Facebook on theirs, and like it was almost like she was connected to them somehow, and she had to like call and report it, and they had to take the missionaries had to go in and take it down because it was, you know, it was like violating. They were taking all her pictures from her Facebook and utilizing for their advantage too, but it was really weird the way it happened.
Yeah, you have to be very, very careful. And I consider myself to be pretty savvy when it comes to social media, but you never know.
Right, and those are two clear examples of what can happen and how people can take advantage of it. So it all depends on your privacy settings too, and we'll get into that later with how you can manage your settings and keep your things private so people can't just automatically go onto your profile and take your pictures.
Yeah, and that the whole stealing identity, pretending to be something else, we see that happening too often nowadays. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the TV show Catfish. Yes? Can you kind of give a brief example, detail of what it is?
I haven't watched it too often, but as far as I know, it's these people get played by other people where they just like they end up having this relationship with someone through an online service of some sort, and then they say that they're in love with each other, and then they never meet, and then the catfish people come in and they decide whether or not it's actually a real thing or not. They set up a meeting between the people, and
Correct.
oh, yeah.
So yeah, it follows people who have relationships over social media, and one person in that relationship starts to feel kind of awkward about it, and they start to question things of, is this person who I really think they are? And so they get in contact with Neve Schulman. He's the host of Catfish, and they, like she was saying, they set up a meeting for those two people, and a lot of times they find out it's a completely different person than who they were talking to. And we're talking long-term relationships. I'm talking 2, 3, 4, 5 years that these people have been talking and have never met face to face.
Sometimes it's even a different gender of the
Exactly.
person that they think.
Exactly.
They have no idea.
So this guy, Danny Sullivan, he's a publisher for Marketing Land, and he does a lot with social media. And so he created this Facebook account for example purposes, and we're going to use it to kind of show you the layout of Facebook. So as you can see here, Danny has a picture of himself, and for his cover photo, he has like a background, you know, something nice to show. You can see his name, some of the friends he has. So I could then, depending on his privacy settings, click on that, see his friends' profiles, click on their profiles. He has his photos, the map of places he's been, his followers, the people that follow him, posts he's put up and posts that his friends have put up and that he shared, and then activities and stuff like that. We won't go too far into detail because we assume you guys know a little bit about Facebook.
So what is this icon? Instagram.
Instagram, awesome. So Instagram started as a sharing moments and mainly pictures social media app. So what I could do is I could take a picture directly with the app and upload it to my group of followers. It kind of has transformed since its birth, and now it's moved to videos, short videos. I can now direct message someone, send them a message privately, whereas to when it started, when I shared a photo or video, it would have to go to solely my group of followers. I couldn't send isolated communication to an individual person. So yeah, the main layer of privacy that they have is that those followers. So if someone wanted to see my pictures or my videos that I post, they would have to be following me, and I would have to accept them if my privacy settings are set up like that. Now, if I didn't have my privacy settings set up correctly, they could see my profile, my bio, all my pictures, all my videos, even if they weren't following me. So it's emphasis on knowing your privacy settings and using them correctly.
And again, there are many dangers of Instagram. Teens also tend to give out, again, personal information such as their name, their school, the names of their friends, family members, anything. And what students don't realize is the pictures are out there for everyone to see. And teenagers think that followers, that's all they want. They want the highest amount of followers, so they think that they're cool, and it's like a popularity thing. What they don't realize is that they're opening their account to countless number of people, and you don't even know who they are. So they can say that they go to your school, but do you know every single student that attends your school? You can say, hey, yeah, I'm a sophomore, you should add me. Okay, they added you, but you don't really know that they're a sophomore or not, and now they have access to all of your pictures. Again, going back to the privacy thing, if your account is not private where I have to accept your request so you can see my pictures, there's something called a hashtag. And if you guys have heard of hashtag, you can take your picture and then in the caption, you can say hashtag, let's say, it's a picture of an apple, okay? You say hashtag apple. Now I can go to the search button, and if you guys download the app, you can see it, and I can type in hashtag apple, and all of the pictures of apples will come up on there. So I can just say, if there's a picture of Chris, I can type in hashtag Chris, and if Chris put that hashtag on his profile, now I can see Chris's pictures. And that's how dangerous it can be if you don't have the correct privacy settings.
So who can tell us what this is? Twitter? Awesome. So Twitter is a mainly messaging app. So it started off as just me sending out a short message of up to 140 characters, and that was to my entire following. That's called tweeting. And you probably hear students say this a lot. Tweet, send out a tweet, retweet, which means if, say, Neil tweets something out, I can then click the retweet button and all my followers can see what he posted. And for that reason, we call Twitter the fastest or the closest thing to reality as far as spreading communication mouth to mouth, word for word. It's because, for example, like I was saying, if Neil tweets something and I retweet it, then all my followers see it, all his followers have seen it, and then if my 5 followers or whatever tweet that, then their 5 followers will see it, and on and on and on. So a lot of times, for example, I say when something happens in school, you'll hear about it on Twitter before you'll hear about it from someone next to you. So contrary to Instagram, it's mainly for short messages to your following. As they've evolved, they added DMing as well. So different things like you can also, with Instagram, you can DM not only just messages, you can also DM videos and pictures as well.
Everybody knows what DMing means, right?
Direct messages.
Yeah.
Direct messaging.
Yep.
And then, again, the dangers of Twitter. So after Facebook, Twitter has the biggest source of cyberbullying. rumors being spread are very common. As Chris said, that if there's something going on, all it takes is a couple clicks and it's out there for everyone to see. Teens get fired up and they say things that they really don't mean. So for example, let's say there's an argument between two close friends and there's gossip going around, and I decide that I'm gonna post something on Twitter about Chris. Not directly saying it to him, but close enough, and he'll get it that it's towards him. Now everybody on Twitter, oh my gosh, wow, look at what he just said about Chris. Now they start retweeting it. Now all of their followers can see this whole argument going on. So now you can see how one little tweet is around the whole school, and that's why you can get in trouble for cyberbullying if the situation is that bad. And if Officer Hazard would like to talk a little bit about cyberbullying, if you want to add it.
Cyberbullying, that's when all the bullying is occurring on the actual media, social media, websites. They're not really showing their faces, they're not giving any names. They know the victim. The victim is usually the victim is usually there, the name is usually there, but the person who's doing the bullying is not physically there.
Right.
They're using a different name, they're using a different picture, and everything is going over social media, and that's what cyberbullying is. I just had a case like this today. She came in, she made an account on. You ever heard of Butter?
Butter.
You ever heard of Butter?
They just started talking about it today.
There was a case, a website called Butter. 2 years ago, she had this case up. She created this whole account. She accepted this young man as a friend, didn't know him, had no clue who he was. And they were talking, they were getting to know each other, and all of a sudden, somehow, one of them got in trouble, so she had to get off the account. So apparently the young man got upset that she canceled the account, she dropped the account. I think her parents got involved, made her drop the account. So basically the young man found her 2 years later on Kik and started harassing her and bullying her, but he still didn't really reveal who he was. At this present time, he's still not. I think I know who it is, but it's like he's actually bullying her on social media now, on Kik. And now he's point where he was able to get to friends' accounts, and then he went on to Facebook because now she has a Facebook account. So she was able to go into the Facebook account, find out exactly, because she likes to plot where she's going, where the vacations are, and now he's bullying that way. Where how was your trip? How was your vacation? So that's what cyberbullying is where the victim's there, the actual person, the defendant, what we call defendant, is really not revealing himself yet. That's what cyberbullying is. So we were able to track it down because he kind of like slipped up when he said his name on one of the accounts. And my job is to find out clues. What does he know? What are the friends that he knows? And thankfully, he slipped up and started tagging her friends in the things that they were doing. So it's got to be somebody in school at this point, or someone close to their circle. Now you slipped up instead of names, and now it's pretty easy, but it goes deeper than that. So that's what cyberbullying is. You have a victim, the victim is revealed, the victim is there, but we don't know who the defendant is yet.
Officer Hazard, she's being followed through her friends?
She's being followed. She was being followed by. No, he found her on Kik.
But if she doesn't
But if he
friend
doesn't,
him,
she did. Unfortunately,
so she's still
because she
accepting
was
friendships
she was
from
the friendship initially was still good, but I believe her parents made her get off the previous account. So when she got up Kik, he found her. They
She
started.
still had to accept him.
Exactly. So then I guess he got upset because I don't know what transpired at that point, but then she stopped sending messages. He then tagged into some of her friends, and now he's harassing the friends along with the victim.
Now, is that something that can be fixed through their settings?
That can be fixed through the settings. Now, for me to go Now, for me to say, you know what, I'm gonna go after this person, I need a little bit more. Prosecutor's office only gives us a little bit of movement when it comes to this kind of things. Because in order for me to find out the IP address or all that other kind of stuff, I have to get permission from the prosecutor's office. I just can't walk into somebody's computer. And you wouldn't want me to walk into your, and find out your IP address and bring up all your emails. You wouldn't want that. So I need evidence, what they call threats being made, anything along that nature, then I can go deeper to find out exactly who that person is. If he's just sending messages, where were you at last night? I saw you last night. That's not good enough. You know, but we can track it and we can kind of figure out what's going on. But if they throw in threats like, I'm going to burn down your house, when you get in your car, I'm going to blow up your car, then that's when we can pull an IP address or anything like that. But I need permission. Yes?
Just to explain what Butter is, it's a little bit like Instagram where you do like a picture and then there's about me. You can have followers. You can also direct message people as well.
Yeah, I have no clue what it was. She came to my office, I have no clue. I had to research it, you know, but like I said, it's, and at the end of the day, they all intertwine somehow, some way. So they can figure out who your friends are, they can figure out where you're at. So it's just a matter of being careful.
Yep, and along with that, kind of going back to what you were bringing up, on social media, you're only as safe as the friends you have. So even if though I may have my privacy settings up, if one of my friends shares a post that I made or posts a picture and tag me in it, if their privacy settings aren't the way mine are, somebody else can go in and see that picture, even though it has me in it and I'm tagged in it and my privacy settings are locked in. If theirs aren't, they can still see that information and kind of get to me through them.
So you posted something,
Correct.
he reposted your post.
Yes.
I go into his and I click on you.
Yes.
I can still see all your stuff even though your settings are set to private?
You wouldn't be able to see my entire profile, but
Okay.
you'd be able to see the post that he
Okay, just
shared.
that post.
Yes, correct.
Any questions on that? All right, moving on. What is this icon? The devil. It is Kik.
If you couldn't tell.
Kik is very interesting.
Yes.
Kick is evil,
It
It is
right.
evil.
Yes.
especially at middle school. Evil.
So Kik is mainly a messaging app, and what that means is there's not really the social media aspect to it as far as making a profile and sending pictures and videos to large groups of people. What it is I can either send a message directly to someone or a message to a group of up to 50 people. And it's isolated in that sense, but it's also public in the sense that there are those 50 people at max that you can send pictures and messages to, but it's not social in the sense of the whole profile. And that's what kind of makes it dangerous, because there's no connection between the app and the phone user. And what I mean by that is, when I install the app, it doesn't ask me for all this information. All I have to do is create a name and a password, and then I'm on Kik and I can talk to whoever I want. I just search up the person's name or search up the person's username, and their profile automatically comes up and I can send them a message. Another thing with hashtagging, that's involved with Kik as well, because I can go on Kik and search a hashtag and it'll pull up a group chat related to that hashtag. So I could just go in and join that group chat and start chatting with random people.
And dangers of Kik. Kik has the potential to expose younger users to pornographic content. Now, I'm not going to even get into detail with that. I just want to show you guys an article that has to go with this. And I put it on Microsoft Word so we can make it bigger so you guys can read it better. So federal investigators warn that the Kik Messenger app has exposed dozens of rapid grant area youth to unwanted sexual contact from strangers online. In at least one case, Michigan State Police say a girl was sexually assaulted when a man she met on Kik app traveled to see her. And then it goes on to say, this is not a toy, this is something very serious, the man told Target 8. The Kik app is getting dangerous. So this man did see the dangers of it, and then he said, wait, I have to stop, and then he gave his little testimony. So he said, the first thing I thought was, wow, I can be whoever I want to be. I can get anybody I want. I can achieve my sexual glorification through this app, he said. That's when I said, you know what, I have to stop this. And then it goes on to say, within minutes of creating a profile and without contacting anyone, 2 people, purportedly teenage girls, reach out to chat. One of the teens had a profile name indicating personal struggles. The sex offender Target 8 interviewed that this is exactly what the perpetrators are looking for. That's when a sexual predator can jump in. Like me, not me. I would like to jump in and say, hey, what's your problem? Let's talk, the man said. I'd be their comfort and I'd be their go-to person. And I think that's all we have. So, just taking that as an example, a young girl posts his personal struggles on her Kik account and says, well, this is what I'm going through, I don't have many friends, and now a pedophile somewhere you don't even know where can start chatting. Well, hey, I'm here for you. I'm 17 years old too. I live in New Jersey as well. Let's meet up. And as simple as that, that's where everything can go wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, Jesse?
I actually had a similar experience where I did have a Kik in middle school, and it was just my name and everything, and I had my profile picture. But I changed my profile picture, and then I got this message from my friend saying, hey, is this you? And it's a different Kik, and I was like, this isn't me. So I messaged the person, and my profile picture is not me anymore. It's just like a picture of an elephant because they're my favorite animal. And I'm like, hey, is this you? And they're like, yeah, it's me. I was like, no, you're not. I'm me. So it was like this huge thing where people will actually do this, even in middle school and everything. It doesn't matter the age, it still happens.
And on Kik, you don't have to give your name out. So my Kik username could just be ND2106. It could be any random username, and I can say, yeah, well, my name is Chris. And you don't have to give a name, you don't have to give a real name, you don't have to give a bio, you don't have to give a picture. It's just, let's chat.
Just another thing with Kik, there was actually a case in Virginia, I believe it was Virginia Tech. There was students that were claiming to be 18 years old, and they were talking to a 16-year-old high school student from the local area. It got to a point where she ran away. They convinced her to run away, and they ultimately killed her. It's something like that where, you know, you can pretend to be whoever you want and convince somebody of these things. For example, like the article was saying, if there's a teenager in need and you offer that open arms, here, I'll talk to you, that can be used to lead them in, and then you can convince them into doing anything. And that's where the danger comes from. Okay.
So what is this icon here? We see it all. Snapchat.
So Snapchat started as a photo sharing app, specifically photo sharing. We had Twitter and Kik that were mainly messaging, so this one started off with photos. You had the opportunity to send photos to recipients or your story, and that's kind of after it started evolving, and they last for 2 to 10 seconds and then disappear. And I say disappear because they don't actually disappear, nothing actually disappears. But yeah, so as it evolved, it became open to photos as well as videos. When you post it to your story, it can be seen by anybody who is on your following or anybody who has added you on Snapchat, or if you're not private, anybody in particular. Yeah, so there's some dangers that come with that, I guess, openness, broadness.
So Snapchat is named the sexting app, and it's named that for a reason. Teens send pictures that they think will disappear. So, giving you a scenario. Let's say a girlfriend decides to send pictures of herself to her boyfriend, and she thinks that, oh yeah, he really loves me, we're going great, he just wants a couple pictures, and they'll go away. What can happen? What bad can happen? What they don't realize is that there are third-party applications out there that you can download, that you can save pictures and videos that are sent to you. And what's more scarier is that you can just go to Play Store or the Apple Store, and you can just type in Snapchat, and the first 3 that will come up, the actual app, Snapchat, the second one, which is called Save Pics, And the third one is called cheats or hacks to save pictures and videos. So right there, you can just see how dangerous it is. And you don't even have to have these apps to save the pictures. You can just simply click it, you see the picture, and just screenshot it. If you hold down the power button and the home screen, you can just screenshot that picture, and now it's in your album. The only thing about that, people are like, well, yeah, it's going to notify me if somebody screenshots it. Well, let's say, again, with the boyfriend-girlfriend situation, they break up, and he decides to screenshot the pictures. It's going to say that he screenshotted the pictures, but what is she going to do about it? He still has the pictures, and it takes 2 seconds to send them around to everyone. And that's why it's named the sexting app. And that's why you have to be very careful on who you add and who you snap to.
This is fun.
Now take a breather and hold on to your seats if you haven't heard about this app. So this app is called Periscope. Who's heard about Periscope? Can you just raise your hand? Okay. Our middle school teachers are going to have fun. Sorry, we have a demo to set up. So
Yeah, Matt, do you want to kind of explain Periscope a little bit for us?
Sure thing. Let me come to the camera. All right, so when Periscope was created, it was created with the intentions, the developers said, we want to create the closest application or the closest link to actually teleporting to a place that we can possibly do with technology. So it's another avenue of social media which is just starting to pop up. There's other applications such as Meerkat, which is like Periscope. What it actually is anywhere in the world, at any given time, somebody can live stream. If you're not familiar with the term live streaming, it's basically a live broadcast that I can broadcast straight from my phone as long as I have a data connection, whether it's Wi-Fi or cell phone data. I can stream live my video, and it has a geographic location on a map that anybody can tune into. It's not private, it's not filtered, it's completely accessible to anybody, which is a scary thing. I mean, just think of ramifications. Some creeper, some adult start streaming and showing sexually explicit content. There's minors who are just tapping into this at any given time. It's wonderfully dangerous, and we're going to check it out right now live. So let's do it.
All right, so what I did was I started a live broadcast, and trust me, this is private, so nobody's going to see this but us. So now what Chris is going to do is he's going to zoom in and try to find my Periscope.
Correct. So just for purposes, you can see that this is a map of North America and South America. Now, I'm only following Neil on this app, but you can see that all these people are live broadcasting right now, and I can go and click on their live broadcast and see them. So we're just going to zoom.
And we have all the red dots are how many people are live. So we have no idea what they're
One of
broadcasting.
those just changed from 117 to 1. Whoa.
Yeah, so the more you zoom in, the more detailed it will get. So this is the map of America. Now I can scroll in. Now I'm live broadcasting. So Chris is going to scroll into New Jersey, and then he's going to scroll into Burlington, scroll into Burlington Township, scroll to Fountain Avenue, scroll to Burlington Township High School, and now he can see my live broadcast.
And if you're scrolling and you're seeing blue icons, it's because those people are not live, but their video stream has been saved. So I tuned in the other night just to check things out, and there were people in California, and they were singing goodnight lullabies to people on the East Coast, and they were on the beach in Pasadena, and you could stream it live, and these people would sing you to sleep. So some really cool applications. I know one of my friends went to opening day in the Niners Stadium, and he live streamed the event right from his phone. So it was like I was right there with him watching the game live.
How can you tell whether or not you're going to get something good to watch?
You
versus-
can't.
You can't.
And that's the dangerous part.
So
So
you
I'm
can
gonna
act
pull up
like
Neil's real
that's
fast.
a blue thing, so they're actually not live. But when Neil's comes up, we're going to be live, and so somebody else could come in and see that and not even know what they're seeing.
That's correct.
But as you can see on the map before, there was some red dots and there were some blue dots.
Right.
Red dots are the people that are broadcasting live right now.
But if I touch one of those red dots, I don't know what I'm gonna see.
That's
No, you're
correct.
not. Correct. Now, the blue dots are people that recorded in the past, recently. I don't know what the time range is up to, but it's people that have recorded within approximately the last day. So even though you may think like, oh, live cast is over, nobody can see what I've just done, I can go back, anybody can go back and just click that and watch your entire live broadcast all the way through. So we have Neil right here, who is live. And I have just
Our
joined.
Wi-Fi is a bit slow, so it might be hard to see. But
I
we'll get there.
can't do it to work on my phone.
You guys don't have to get through.
Does Periscope work through our Wi-Fi?
No.
No, it does not. So it's-
You have to go through the.
I don't think any of the social medias work
No.
through our school's
No.
Wi-Fi. Oh, there we go.
no reason.
And there I am. I'm not going to try to get any of you guys on the Periscope.
Once you get 100,000.
Oh, that's the weirdest part. I can hear myself.
Yeah, so if I'm anybody, you know,
There you
doing a live broadcast, I can join this and I can just watch whatever Neil's doing. And it's scary because, you know, whatever the person may be doing, you can just see that. And you don't know who's watching you. You don't know how many people, you know how many people, but, you know, if it's a great deal amount, you don't know who they are. Now, Matt's not friends with Neil.
Yes,
Matt was
we
able
did
to
not
just
plan
join.
this, and he can see my broadcast.
Well, not even that. Before, Neil he wasn't even aware of this, but his Periscope was actually connected with his Twitter. So every time that he opened Periscope, it went on his Twitter. So not only the people on Periscope could see it, but his followers on Twitter as well.
Right, the first time we did this presentation, I didn't realize when I made a Periscope, I only made it for the presentation purposes, and I didn't realize that I accidentally clicked hook up with my Twitter account, and it actually hooked up with my Twitter account. So then after my presentation, Jess went on Twitter, and she's like, hey Neil, all of your Periscopes during the presentation are now on your Twitter. So I was like, oh shoot, then I have to go back and delete it, and that's just how crazy it can be. Even I didn't realize. I was trying to like, okay, I have to be safe, and next thing you know, it's on my Twitter account.
But once it's on Twitter, can you make that go away temporarily? I mean, like, it's out there, but
You can delete it, but
You know,
you don't know what the
people-
content is, and people can retweet it.
Correct. If people have already gotten to it and retweeted it, it's there.
So if I post something and Chris like, ooh, okay, he retweets it. Now all of his followers, all 800 of them, now can see my Periscope.
But that's
Just
what
throw
we're
it out
trying to
there.
stress, the fact that once something is posted on the internet, on social media, it's there. As much as you think you deleted it or it's gone, it's still there. I know Matt brought up a story before about a blog that he had years ago. And
Yeah.
he went back and found it today. He thought he had closed it down and everything, and now he doesn't even have access to it.
Yeah, that's wonderful, right? I had started a blog in college and had been, posting for probably the greater part of like 2 or 3 semesters, and a lot of personal information on there. But I have no access to that website anymore. I have no idea what email I even use to access it. So, that stuff is out there forever. Anything you do online leaves a digital footprint, and digital footprints can always be traced. So, there are very real dangers, even for adults. It's not just our students.
Yes. When you're clicking that delete button, you're not actually deleting. Because as long as someone liked it, somebody shared it, somebody screenshot it, somebody took the link, it's there. They have it now. And another thing, anything that you post on social media or online, it is no longer yours. You no longer own it. It is owned by the company that you posted it to. Yeah. So with Periscope, like we were saying, Matt joined. Matt wasn't friends with Neil. Matt wasn't friends with me. He was just able to zoom in on Burlington Township, find that live stream that Neil was doing, click it, and now not only does he know that Neil is live streaming, but he knows where Neil is at.
And the reason I stopped broadcasting was I had 2 more followers, so I had a total of 4. So I was looking at the names and I don't even know these names. That's why quickly hit stop.
You mean just now?
Just
Yeah.
now.
Just now.
Yeah, there were 2 names that added, and I asked who they were.
What were those little hearts that were floating out?
That was people liking his live broadcast.
Oh.
So if they like what they see, they can just hit the like button.
Yeah. Like Matt had typed, nice suit. You look good, you know?
Right, and then it
That-
started floating up.
Exactly.
And that's the very scary thing is, it's very quick. I mean, the other day, it seems like everybody becomes, pop stars when they have one of these things, and they think they're like wicked important to the world. So they have these people now that stream every morning, get ready with me, get ready for me with work. They're putting on their makeup, they're putting on their clothes, they're getting showered, dressed, changed, everything right there live, because this is the weird voyeur world that we live in now. I can't even, just imagine children, tuning into these things. Or if a child downloads Periscope and they're streaming, and then some whack job is tuning into them and stalking them, and there's accessible anytime. That's why, like I said, Periscope's one job, they completed it. It's the closest thing to teleportation that we have. That's a really scary.
Yes, I'm sure there's a lot of crazy scenarios going through your head right now as to how this can be used maliciously, but let me give you one. So, for example, and another one. But, so think a guy or a girl, teenager, in the house on Periscope. Yeah, Home Alone, I was kind of bored, so I decided to start live streaming. And so, they just want to have someone they could talk to. And now, not only are you showing anybody your live stream, but you also just told them that you're home alone. And with the map, they know where you live. So somebody could easily just drive up, oh, she's home alone. I'm just going to walk through the door, break in. And then bad things happen. And this has happened. It's happening today. And it's scary.
So all you have to really do is download this app.
All you have to do is download.
And the map will
then-
pop up.
And the map pops up, and then you click on one of those things, oh.
And you can watch
it helps
somebody.
us all.
And you have no idea what you're gonna watch.
That's right.
No privacy whatsoever.
Yeah, I had two students in advisory, and the one girl, it was her own laptop, and she was doing work, and all of a sudden they were talking, hey, that guy's in France, and they were watching, and I was like, I came back to the room and said, what are you guys doing? Oh, this dude's in France, he's talking to us, and I'm like, turn him off. I'm just like, you shouldn't be doing that in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just pop up. Because they were trying to chat with their friends somewhere else. And it was her own computer in school.
Yeah, I've had people in my classes try to Periscope in class. Let's be honest, I shut that down really quick. But it's dangerous. It is. You're showing people yourself, and you're telling them where you're at. And you can't even change that. That's by default.
I have a question. If you turn the location off on your phone, does that offer any protection or no?
Still
In
shows
order
you
to
on the
use
map.
the app, your
You
location
have
services
to
have to
turn
be
it
on.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kill the satellite.
Get that.
There you go.
Well,
And
I
to
know
just give
kids
you an
are do-
example.
I know kids are doing it because today, right after park, the kids got their cell phones back,
Yeah.
and this one kid said, well, I'm not texting. And I said, yeah, but you just found out that the kid that's missed the park exam is in guidance, so how did you do that if you didn't text or do something else? Well, telepathically, through my phone, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right, and just to give an example of how fast Periscope is growing in Burlington Township itself, a couple months ago when we had our first presentation, we met with Matt and Miss Scott to talk about the presentation, and Matt said, well, you guys should talk about Periscope. And Chris and I look at each other like, Township kids, we don't really use Periscope. And he's like, no, well, this is what it is. And we're like, oh, okay. And we did some research, we made the PowerPoint, and then that very day we had the presentation in class. A couple of students in my English class were talking about using Periscope and the things they've seen, and not very good things.
Exactly.
So that's how fast and rapidly it is growing.
Anybody can see anything, and along with that, it's not, nobody oversees what's being broadcasted live. There's no parent organization that's monitoring what people are live broadcasting, so anything is on there, anything. We'll let your imagination go into detail, but yeah, I think that's. So cyberbullying, kind of going back to that topic. 7 in 10 young people are victims of cyberbullying. It's a large majority.
37% of them are experiencing cyberbullying on a frequent basis.
Newer research suggests that young males and females are equally at risk of bullying.
54% of young people using Facebook reported that they have experienced cyberbullying on the social network.
Twitter and Facebook are some of the highest cyberbullying sites, and that's because of their high traffic in social media. Mainly Twitter because of how we were saying earlier, that fast communication. So if I start a rumor, as soon as I post it and somebody retweets it, it's already out there, and then you have 100 people, and then 1,000 people, and so on and so forth. And Facebook, because it is still the most largely used amongst teenagers.
And cyberbullying found to have catastrophic events upon the self-esteem and social lives up to 70% of young people. So if you have 20 students in your classroom, 14 of them, one time or another, experienced cyberbullying.
So yeah, you guys downloaded social media. We're gonna kind of break this off because I know you guys are probably tired of hearing us talking. We're gonna kind of do like individual, answer your personal questions. If you guys want to get more familiar with different social media outlets, we can do that for you. So yeah, this is the end of our formal part of our presentation.
Do we have any questions before we wrap up
Any questions?
on any of the social medias? Okay,
Awesome.
awesome. So if you guys can pull out your phones, and if you guys have any questions about any social medias, how to work anything,